There was no throne, no crown, no army. Yet in this quiet moment, standing in the waters of the Jordan River, the mission of Jesus was publicly revealed. This was not just a baptism. It was a declaration, a confirmation, a moment when heaven responded to obedience. Jesus' baptism marks the beginning of his public ministry, and one of the clearest revelations of who he truly is. Jesus came from Galilee to the Jordan River, where John the Baptist was preaching repentance and baptizing people in preparation for God's coming kingdom. John's message was bold and confrontational. He called people to turn away from sin and prepare their hearts. When Jesus approached John and asked to be baptized, John was shocked. He knew who Jesus was. John protested, saying that he needed to be baptized by Jesus, not the other way around. To John, this made no sense. Baptism was for sinners. Jesus was without sin. But Jesus replied with purpose and clarity. This must be done to fulfill all righteousness. With those words, Jesus revealed something profound. His baptism was not about repentance, it was about obedience. He was stepping fully into God's plan, identifying with humanity, and setting an example of submission to the Father's will. So John agreed. As Jesus was baptized and came up out of the water, something extraordinary happened. Heaven opened. The Spirit of God descended like a dove and rested upon him. This visible sign showed divine empowerment, peace, and God's presence. It marked Jesus as the one chosen and anointed for his mission. Then came the voice. A voice from heaven declared, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." The baptism was the beginning of that journey. It reminds us that humility is not weakness. Jesus, though divine, submitted willingly. He stepped into the water not because he had to, but because obedience mattered. And in that obedience, heaven responded. Jesus' baptism leaves us with an important question. If the Son of God chose obedience, humility, and submission, what does that mean for us? Faith is not just belief. It is alignment. It is trust. It is obedience even when we don't fully understand. This moment invites us to examine our own walk with God. Are we waiting for approval before obedience or willing to obey and trust God with the outcome? If this message helped you see Jesus more clearly, subscribe to this channel for more Bible-based teachings. Share this with someone seeking deeper understanding. Stay connected for the next story that reveals God's heart.